We are live. Episode 2. The Veve Bros. We in the house. It's your boy Veve Mescal.
Benjamin right here.
And Cisco Funk Vision 32.
And we got a dope episode for you lined up. Shouts out to everyone who tuned in on the first one. We just had audio, but we're kicking it in with some video. You're going to see us stack and get better as we go along. And thank you for joining us on this journey. It's been a dope week, man. How's your guys' week been? How's your week, man?
Good. Lots of drops.
Lots of drops.
No hits.
Lots
on
of drops.
mine. No
I had a
hits
good
on
weekend. I
mine.
was in Big Bear all weekend. Didn't think I was going to get anything. And it ended up being a very good weekend.
It was a golden weekend. for him.
So that's the thing about these Veve drops. You don't know where you're gonna be. I mean, I've been on in New York, on the other side of the country, been in the airplane, and you just don't know where it's gonna where you're gonna be when you get the drop. Yeah, you just don't know. So, let's see. We had 5 drops this week. So this week in Veve, let's review this week right now. We had 5 drops this week. We had Black Panther, X-Men 170, the Fantastic Four, the annual number 3. We had the big drop, which was the Disney Golden Moments Valentine's, which I know Cisco has a cool story of. And then we had the Marvel premiere, which was the Iron Fist drop that just dropped. I believe it was today or yesterday. Today. So anyway, did anyone hit any drops? I'll just jump out and say I didn't get anything.
Not one.
Actually, I hit the Black Panther Uncommon, which I put up for sale as soon as it listed, and I ended up flipping that, which was cool. But that doesn't really compare. My little story doesn't compare to Mr. Cisco over here, so go ahead.
Everything's looking up, Millhouse. Like, straight up. We were talking last week about how I didn't get none of the lenticulars. I didn't get none of the Mighty Marvel Spider-Man ones. And like you said, you don't know where you're going to be. So I was in Big Bear, and I told my fiance, hey, we got to be home by 12. I have to be home by 12. We have a 1-year-old. Hey, you don't go off your own schedule all the time when you got a baby. So we're still driving home, and I'm like, all right, I set the alarm 11:45. We're pulling off the freeway. I need to pull over. We're gonna find a spot. Just so happens where I pulled off, there's a Starbucks. So I'm like, you want Starbucks?
So you use Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Well, I did. I used the Starbucks Wi-Fi, but when we pulled in, baby was asleep. Fiance had to use the restrooms. I'm like, all right, you go in. And I'm right there in the parking lot. I'm like, wait, let me see if I could hook up to the Wi-Fi right now. Got in on the Wi-Fi with 3 minutes left.
Starbucks must have fast-ass Wi-Fi.
Must be. And it was a nice neighborhood, too. It wasn't my neighborhood Starbucks. It was a nicer one out in Whittier. And hooked up to the Wi-Fi. And then baby woke up. And I'm looking. I'm like, we're going to get this, mama. We're going to get this. Watch. We're going to get this. You're my good luck. You're my good luck. Looking at her, pressing the button, do the align gate. And, yeah, man, I thought it glitched
the space
on me.
gate.
Space gate. Space gate. Yeah, the little
between.
space in between. I thought it glitched on me. Because it went. I pressed it. I was like, waiting, and then it says buy, like purchase, like, okay, now we're gonna take your gems. And I'm like just staring at the phone. I'm like, oh wait, I have to press it again. Press buy, and it says, oh, sorry, because of the large volume of people, there was an issue, whatever. And I'm like, I'm already screenshotting and messaging you guys like, man, I didn't get it. My fiance comes back to the car. She opens the door. I'm like, man, so did you get it? I look at the phone. It says you have 1 order pending delivery.
Damn.
And I was like,
that
man,
red strip.
boom.
When you go in and you see the red strip, there's a thrill that comes out of it. Which, hey man, I'm happy for Cisco hitting, because I know it's been tough.
Mine glitched. It was, and
Ben
well, it
glitched.
actually said processing order, like with Batman and Killer Croc statue.
Oh, that's the big
It
glitch.
actually just said process. So I was like, I left that shit open like 20 minutes.
Damn.
20 minutes just staring at my phone, hoping it would take my gems. It never happened.
No, I was going for it.
up.
I had Celeste going for it. I had our sister Yesenia going for it.
I had all my coworkers going for it.
We all struck out.
And I was just
Not
by
one of
myself.
them hit.
So
Just me solo.
Which, I have to talk about this. People complain about bots, and as soon as like the second after this drop or whatever, you go to the Disney Golden Moments and you go to the comments and you just start reading everyone's comments, and they're so fast that like you see dozens of comments get posted at once. Then if you post a comment, you won't even see yours for like 30 seconds, 40 seconds. Then yours will post within that, just so you can understand the volume of people. And most of them are just complaining.
Especially
F
for these
VV,
golden
F
moments.
the bots, this, then that, blah, 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 blah. And I'm right there like, stop crying. I had 3 people in my household right there in front of us going for it. My brother was him and coworkers. And Cisco was all by himself, does it, and he ends up being the one out of us, which is like 6, 7 people, maybe 8, that ends up hitting. And I think they said 500,000 people were going for this drop. Ooh. So a quarter of all the active users, right? And there's only, I think it was 13,000 for the Daisy and Donald and 6,000, right? So you had 20,000 out of, you know, 500,000. So I think it was, the odds were like 1 in whatever it is, 25, 30 or something. So you're just not going to get them. People complain way too much about the app. It's something that kind of like, it just kills the buzz a lot of times when you're going for the drops. I know everyone wants to blame bots, but it's like, dude, 500,000 people going for just 20,000 items.
Yeah, and
just imagine just in a store if you had 20,000 toys and there was 500,000 people in the parking lot and your door was this big. Like, there's just no way all them people are going through. You know,
I think more it's not how fast it goes. I think it's when the market opens. People probably post now. But when you see the market open and you see the same name posting 6 in a row, that's when it's sketchy right there. Because how did they accumulate so many and they're posting the floor when they're doing that floor?
Well, I mean, yeah, there definitely is bot issues, they're manipulating to say that all of them are taken by bots, that's not true. Cisco got one. That
can't be possible.
Yeah, and even with the lenticulars, people were crying about the lenticulars. I hit 3 of them, so it was just
But you gotta know the Disney just hurts a little more, so people are gonna.
Oh, dude,
it hurts a lot more.
We were 15 minutes away from being home. I pull off, we get to Starbucks, and then there's an accident. You know, hope everyone's safe, but now we're 45 minutes away from being home.
I haven't hit
traffic was so bad.
Disney drop.
No, but those 45 minutes were like the joy, so joyful, and I was all in a good mood. Like, you don't understand. You know how many people were going for this, and I got this. Like, this is like the random selection of all random selections. Like, I just got lucky, and then I didn't know which one I got. Then it ends up being Donald and Daisy, which to me, and so you even say like you want that one. You don't want like Lady and the Tramp's cool.
Lady and the Tramp's cool, but they
I don't remember that movie.
Yeah, that like, Donald and Daisy hold, and just Donald by himself. Donald by himself. So have you guys heard of the?
Was it common?
Yeah.
So
have you heard of the
common?
The 50 statues that Disney did for their 50th anniversary? So they did 50 statues that are at different parks, and I think they only rocked them for so long. And when their 50th anniversary came up, whenever it was, and I think we probably had seen it when we would go. You know, as being Disney kids. I mean, I was just at Disneyland today for my son's first birthday. So shouts out to my son Miguelito on his first birthday,
nephew.
And we celebrated today at Disneyland. So I did the full day at Disneyland, then I came and did this. So that's how dedicated I am to this Veve and the Veve Bros. So yeah, shouts out. Anyway, they have these statues. You should look it up. Google it. Disney 50, the 50th anniversary statues. And guess what they are? They're the Golden Moment statues. The R2-D2, the exact same. The Donald Duck and the Daisy are separate statues, and they put them together for this. The Lady and the Tramp one, if you go and look at all of them, you kind of can see like they got a BB-8. They got.
I actually feel now that you're saying that, I feel like I've seen them around the park.
Yeah.
Very.
They got Chippendale. They
have the little small ones around.
They have small ones.
Main Street. Yeah,
seen those. The whole point was to find them. That was the thing.
They're actually around the partner statue. They have a lot.
Right. They even have small ones like Stitch. So that one maybe they don't, because that one like Stitch is in the 50th. The other one is a pure statue, then it just has a 50th little emblem. So you can kind of see the other ones. But I was looking through them. I can't think of them off the top, but maybe I'll Google it right now. Just I don't want to segue too far off. I want to stay on topic this episode. But definitely go Google it and check it out, because that may give you a preview on who we may be getting, and Mickey and Minnie are one of them too. So if they end up doing a Mickey and Minnie,
they will,
you know,
for sure,
together, that'll be huge too. Even though it wouldn't be FA Mickey, it'd be FA Minnie. It's still huge. Even the Steamboat, it isn't FA, it isn't FE, and we're gonna get into that because Veve, you know, attempted to clear it up because people were asking a lot of questions. And they dropped the article recently explaining as best as they could what FA and what FE does, and the argument is does it even matter, right? But anyway, that was the week. Cisco hit a golden moment. The first Veve brother with a golden moment. Man. I gotta just clap it up.
Take that $60.
We're talking about it.
60 gems, and we were already like plotting on like, all right, which one are we gonna get? We'll all put in for it. We'll just get one to have it in our collection. Who's gonna hold it? I'll hold it. I'll hold it. Like it's one of those things we were already having it on our radar, like to get one before it takes off. Right. It kind of get a little dip on some of them too when this one was announced.
That's what we're gonna talk about too. I mean, maybe we'll just get into that. But you know, before we get into the gem squeeze that we're currently in, and we're honestly enjoying it. We're enjoying it right now. So before we get into that, we do want to talk a little about the Wax CEO talking smack about Veve. I don't know if you guys saw this. This was before the Golden Moments dropped. Obviously, I'm paying a little more attention day to day. My brothers are on the 9 to 5 grind, and I have a little more time where I can actually be on YouTube and watching these videos sometimes. And even I'm like, some of it's pointless. Other times it's very interesting. Such as, so let me give you guys, if you guys didn't know, there's this other platform that makes NFTs called Wax. It's been out for a few years. They got certain licenses too. They have some pretty big name collaborations. Homeboy, their CEO, gets interviewed. As they're talking about it, they're just like, how come Apple doesn't allow any NFTs and they don't work with anyone? And he's like, no, there are no NFTs on Apple. He's a Veve. He just went and attacked Veve. Veve, they don't got real NFTs, because if you can't sell what you got, then you don't truly own what you got, and they're not real NFTs. So with that, I mean, shots fired, but hey, you gotta. There's some truth in that at the same time. Now, is there progress being made towards that? Absolutely. Is there more work to be done? Absolutely. To just jump out and say, hey, these aren't real, that's just not. So that's just not true.
They're misleading people. They're misleading people, or they're telling you, like, it clearly says too, if you're gonna make a purchase or you're gonna add gems, it says you cannot pull these out. Like, you understand that. It says that little thing on it, like
single purchase.
So that happened this week.
But that guy, I don't know, man. We know what we're doing when we're buying these gems. You know what you're doing. Like I said, it's kind of like, consider it like staking. And I believe, I didn't watch. I believe I seen in the video that he said they have no utility as well.
Right.
Which makes them not real NFTs.
Right.
The fact that they have no utility.
And again, it's just things that maybe you can say it now, but it might not age well. That's all. You look back a year from now, you look back 2 years from now, and Veve, you are able to cash out. You are able to, you do have utilities. Even being at Disneyland today, I'm looking like, man, Disney's just going to be
He said Veve
so
and Disney, though, lied to you.
Yeah.
He said Veve and Disney lied to you. These are not real NFTs.
Right.
And also on that, I kind of feel like it's a minor play, but I feel like Disney tackled that as far as even saying utility, because they gave people, with the first Golden Moments, you got Disney Plus for 3 months.
Right.
Which they could bring back at any time. They could say, hey, anyone with these with these on Veve.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's whoever made the NFT and that company that's providing it ultimately decides what that utility will be. So yeah, you're at Disneyland, like, man, if it's even a 30% discount, you hold the Walt statue, you hold Golden Moments in general, you get 30% off. We'll give you a little QR code and you just show it off. That's a good amount of money while you're at Disneyland. That saves you a couple $100 every time you go. If it's something like you getting free, or you're able to get into some access, I mean, there's a lot of diehard fans that would pay big money just to even borrow that thing. So anyway, the Wax CEO, he tried to diss. It just didn't look right. It looked real petty. The Veve community rallied. Veve dropped a tweet with like the Sabrina the Teenage Witch cat, just like filing his nails, like didn't even respond. And then within a day or two drops the announcement for the Golden Moments. So it's just like, but yeah, that happened this week. Maybe you guys heard about it, maybe you didn't, but there's definitely been some FUD. There's been some FUD. And then this same week, Recur announces you can take your money out already.
Yeah, I saw
Recur.
that. Yeah.
So that's a double little and obviously there was some sentiment that said, shots at Veve, yo, isn't it kind of nice to be able to start your investment being able to take it out? So you can't really argue with that maybe isn't the best. But I'll say this, I don't know if you guys would agree, but it's just like the brands and the things they got, that's kind of the price you pay right now. Like, if you could take your money out and flip it that quick, it almost would be too good to be true. This is the one little detail that we were talking about last week that kind of just
keeps certain people out.
It's good if you're in right now. If you're in, that means you're early. The fact that you can't cash out again, it turns people off. It turns
not
people
financial
away.
advice. Not financial advice.
Turns people away.
We don't know about money.
Makes them unwilling to buy stuff from this because they can't cash out. But that means more for you if you're in on the app. If you're full in.
Like
no, but even that dude, like even that dude from Wax,
don't need the money at all, and people who are crazy enough to risk their money like this, it doesn't really leave room for the person in the middle. And even if they are, they're not gonna invest thousands upon thousands unless they got some type of screw loose, or they got so much that
that's
they
why
if
you are in that like group of people, like we said, we told people like, hey, check out this app. I've told people at work, I've told family members, I've told other people, like just letting them know, like, hey, check this out if you're interested in this, whatever. But when they see the money, like the battle statue, 120 gems. I'm not gonna put 120 gems and I can't get it out. All right, but if you don't have that, if you do have 120 bucks or 100 bucks, put it in, leave it there. And then go for the drops. Maybe you'll get a drop and then hold till that moment that you get a drop. If you can't invest like and be involved deeply, that's how you get in early on some of these, or like come up on just one. Like if you just happen to log on and get one of the
already
spots.
selling their stuff off of the app, so they already came up. If
a lot of people getting scammed too, though. I've been seeing a lot of things about that.
Some people aren't too. Like there are people with money who are like, man, I'll give you cash if you transfer it over.
Well,
or the Android, I'm telling you,
correct.
Android can transfer gems. So you can pay someone cash. Hey, cash app me. I'll cash app you $30. Send me your 60 gems. You know, like if we both have Android, which is crazy to me because I downloaded it in Nana's phone. I try to get it for her for Disney Plus. I mean, for the Golden Moments, and I was like, damn, she's able to send and receive gems. Apple doesn't allow that. And one thing that's a little too crazy. I mean, a little crazy in the detail with the Wax thing was that Apple takes 30% of all the gems you're putting in. So it's kind of a trip. Like Apple got a chokehold on the apps and what moves in and what people are able to spend money on. They're very, very careful about it. And if they do, they're winning big time from it just because it's a sketchy middle ground.
Yeah, even when you sell something on the market, there's a fee that gets taken out from your sale. Right. Like if you post something for $7K, if it sells, you're still getting like $6,300.
Well, certain brands have that. Like Disney gets 8.25. So you're accruing 8.25 plus whatever Veve wants. So you're almost paying 10%. So remember, with all these Mickey Mouses, with everything, you know, you have to account for the 10% you're gonna lose when you're looking at your gains, or when you're looking at your buy. Are you really buying it for 700? Or are you buying it for 700 plus 10%? You're buying it for 770. Because if you were to sell it again for 700, you're only gonna make 630 now. So you kind of have to already weigh that in with your decision when you're dealing with Disney and Marvel. Those are the only two. That's why people like Batman's too, because they're only taking 2%. You sell Batman at 20 G's, you're only taking 2% out. You sell a Spider-Man at the same price, you're losing the other 8%. That shit, it adds up when you're dealing with some big money, you know.
Well, one thing too, I just wanted to say, like, for a beginner, this was one thing I was thinking about the other day. If you're not willing to, you know, put a big amount of money, comics are always $7. I've yet to see one over. 7 gems. Sorry. 6.99 gems, and
to get the drop,
to go for a drop. So let's say you upload 7 gems and you just wait till that drop. Might be a few months. You just keep going for the drops. But let's say your first one, you hit the secret rare. Now with that one, you could easily flip that for you almost always are gonna see a secret rare going for at least 500. Regardless of what comic it is, regardless of what character it is. Then from there, the sky's the limit based on how good that comic is. But I mean, it's just a little thing, you know. 7 gems, it equals $7. If you hit, you hit. You know, you might get a rare, a secret, ultra rare. You don't know. It might end up being that thing that you could just flip as your ticket into the door.
And you know what? There's certain people who they only do that. Which I've heard, and I've ran into them now on YouTube and on the app.
Way to do it.
Well, they just say like that's the only way they're willing to. They're not really willing to buy something for $300. It's too speculative for them. They're like, nah, this could be worth nothing in the future. So you know what, or whatever. They just don't know, because that's the gap too between the NFTs and a crypto investor and then a traditional investor. So it's kind of a trip, you know. Not that I know any of the three very well, but my homies who invest traditionally are a certain type of person. Then you have your crypto people who are a certain type. Then you have your NFT people. And they're somewhere in the middle, but then there's fools who only do NFTs. They don't mess with crypto. They don't mess with stocks. They just like, you know, they like games. They like comics. They like collectibles. That collector versus investor thing that we talk about, you know, that's been a theme in our show. So, you know, some of them, they just only go for the drops, and that's what their whole portfolio is. They'll just give you the story of amazing drops they've hit, or, you know, the times they've gotten lucky. And that's enough for them for now. I mean, obviously, that's probably one of the worst strategies to have. But, you know, more power to you if that's what you've been doing and you've been lucky enough. Like, you know, I got a couple people I know who hit the ultra rare Steamboat Willie, like I said. And one of them's like a real collector. He's been doing it. The other dude, he's like, I got lucky on the drops early. So his whole collection is just dope stuff he got back when no one was on, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, bro. And then he just happened to hit that Steamboat, which is like, man, you're good. With that alone, like, you probably have more with that one collectible than some people have in their whole portfolio, you know? So anyway, moving on, those are some good points. Thanks, Ben. Thank you, Ben, for sharing that. I did want to get into the article just a bit, just because I know you guys haven't had a chance to read it. Maybe some of the people watching right now, Veve put out an article because it's been an issue. People have asked about it. FAFE, what does it mean? And you know, with the thing with Discord, the AMAs, with that, you run into a lot of redundancies. You repeat a lot of the same stuff. Some of the stuff I already know because I've just been in the space enough. Maybe the common person doesn't. And even Spacegate and some of that stuff, we might have to do an episode where we just only talk about trying to get drops and just do that. But anyway, I just want to run through this real quick, right? This is straight from the website. If you guys don't know, medium.com is what releases the official articles for Veve, which will give you the mint counts and give you stuff like that. So this is what they had to say about first appearances. When a character with a storyline from comics, TV, film, etc., such as Spider-Man, is first introduced to the Veve platform in premium digital collectible format, it is considered a first appearance, aka a FA. Note that first appearances are reserved for characters making their debut on Veve, not the blockchain in general. Even though in most cases the first appearance on the blockchain will be through Veve. So that is what they're saying. The premium digital collectible, such as, you know, the Spider-Man and the classic pose and all that. The cards are not first appearance, and neither is, I think, art, they said. So anyway, if it's a con exclusive or all collectibles dropped as a part of a convention, they will now turn from FA to FE as con exclusives moving forward. So the Dragon Girl I had, she was FA, they're going to change her to FE. Comic book characters' first appearance exist in their own world outside of Veve. That's pretty important, and do not coincide with collectible releases. As such, digital comics do not carry edition types designated on Veve. So Veve said, hey, there's already a whole list of people who have that. There's a whole market. There's a whole thing that already pre-exists in real life comics. Whatever works for that is what we're going to roll with. We're not going to put FA, you know, certain, whatever. We're leaving all that stuff alone, which is pretty interesting. That's why comics are, that's another little strong indication that, man, comics are a better investment sometimes than collectibles. Collectibles may run up and run down and have hype, but comics actually have $1 billion industry right now in real life. So, you know, anyway, moving forward, obviously there are some things we need to clean up given the definitions laid out above. Why isn't Steamboat Willie a FA or FE? And what about the Batmans? The Walt and Disney's partner statue serves as the first appearance of both Mickey Mouse and Walt Disney, and we do not consider Steamboat Willie a different character. Therefore, partners remains the first appearance. Mickey and Friends lenticular interactive cards are labeled FE because they are first edition cards. This means that if a premium digital collectible of Donald Duck, for example, the Golden Moments, were to drop in the future, they just said it right there. Mm-hmm. For example, if a Donald Duck were to drop in the future, then their next drop was actually a Donald Duck, he would be considered FA. Batman, oh boy, the Batman. So this was a startup. We've been on a steady diet of figure it out as we go. Obviously, a precedent was set early with some of the early Batman and Harley Quinn being labeled FE as artist works. But again, we want to clean all this up with these labels and less confusing moving forward. Don't worry, we will avoid removing altogether all currently labeled first appearance or first edition. This includes all Batman black and white collectibles out of respect. So like some of the Harley Quinns, the red and black, they were considered artist renditions of them. So they gave them
first editions.
So they gave them, now they're giving them first edition tags, which people are speculating is going to shoot the price up now on some of these other ones that kind of were like falling under the radar.
Depending on the artist, how much they drop, how popular.
And then they gave a big list of what they're changing. They're changing the DeLorean from FA to FE. They're changing the Borg, the Dragon Girl, like I was saying, from FA to FE. So depending on how it is, the Steamboat Willie's staying the same. And that's pretty much where we're at. People made such a big issue out of it. And now it seems like the Batman's gained from it. Some of the other stuff stood the same. And Steamboat, for us who are holding a Steamboat, stays exactly the same. Nothing. So it almost, you know, for anyone who was wondering, that was the whole thing that Veve had dropped about the collectibles. You could read more about it. Like I'm saying, these Medium articles from the Discord are really dope. They really give a lot of great information. But yeah, guys, moving forward, the gem squeeze continues. Yeah, man. What do you guys been noticing out there in the market?
The life out of you.
Shoot, I'll take my time looking at different comics. Like you said, the comics seem to be like the safe bet kind of, because even the comic world isn't even in the app like that yet. You hear people who know about comics talk about it, and they're like surprised that the price is still. So these are people who hunt them down in real life, the actual comics. They know how much they're worth. They know how the implications of movies and stuff. But they also
appreciate NFTs and crypto.
No, for sure, yeah.
There's people who
and
are
that's the other thing
that's comics that don't give.
That's my other point that kind of like the light bulb clicked last week when Ben was like, "Oh yeah, I could make my comic big as hell and read it. It's pretty cool." And you didn't even know that, and you're the one who put us on the app and been buying comics, and you had 50 something before, you know, like. Right. But that aspect of it, the NFT part of it,
I was just reading one of the comics. You know, I was reading it.
Yeah,
and then I noticed at the top corner said AR. So I was like, what the fuck? Clicked it.
No, so I had read them like that.
Like, oh man!
But I never done AR, which just never clicked. You know, in my head.
It was pretty cool.
No, so with the gem squeeze, like, there's some of these Grail comics like that a lot of people talking about. They know they're just like the sure thing. The Fantastic Four #1, ASM #1, Amazing Spider-Man. Like they've dropped big time, and like I've told friends that like, oh, you need to get this one. You just make one investment, just buy this one comic. Trust me, get it. And my buddy, he didn't do it. My coworker, he didn't buy it. Then Monday came, like, hey, did you end up buying that? He's like, oh, I got it for 150, 154, and I was like, dude, it was like 198 when I was telling him to get it.
Right.
And it went down even more over the weekend. So like those ones are like high on my radar. Like just all right, I got a little bit of money. Let me see which one I'm gonna get. See if I can stack this one, get another Deadpool.
And I guess we could just say it's pretty safe to assume going forward, anytime there's gonna be a golden moments dropping, the market is gonna get.
Well, I mean, they don't say though.
No, you know? But it's as soon as that news gets announced.
That's what we talked about too.
You just see it instantly.
So it's it's equivalent to a crypto flash crash. It's a flash crash. So you do see deals you would not. Like, I saw deals that day when they announced it that I still haven't seen. Certain ones touched again, but there was a few where I was like, oh, damn. Like, the ultra rare Sue Storm hit 212. 212. I bought that at 330. She was as high as 580. 530, I almost pulled the trigger on her. 450, I was like, ooh, should I buy it? I like this one. You know, I just like that one, too, because I think the animation's really dope. And I finally pulled the trigger at 330 thinking I'm getting the deal. She hit 212, 220. I'm like, right when the news, like certain outcasts get pushed even further down. Yep. And then the ones, because we also have to understand too that the point we're at in Veve and any person coming new in the app, you're now at a point where a lot of people are already in profit. So you're going to have to be real smart and selective when you jump in and the positions you make, because there's not as much sell pressure, even though prices are going down and we see them. Like, say some of these comics are still 100% up from where they were just January 1st, 2nd, January 8th. Some of them were $60, $70. You know, the Miles Morales, $80. The Doom Fantastic Four 5 was $63, and now it's at $140.
Well, that's the part about the gem squeeze that people need to understand. Like, when we say that, what we're referring to is people who already made these investments, knowing like, all right, this is what I want to hold on to. I think this is gonna pump, and then it pumps to a certain level. Then they're like, oh well, I got it at 50, so I'll let it go at 150, even though it's at 210. I'll sell this one. If I put it for 150, it's gonna sell in 2 seconds. So I need these gems to do this. So that's like, boom, I have 4 of them.
And
I'll get rid of one.
What did you see them moving into if you paid attention this week? They're moving into grails. They're getting the same memo, the same notion that we got, that me and Cisco got. And we almost pulled the trigger on a few grails this past week. But luckily, we've held off a little. Like, hey, if you had bought Homer at Bart at 2.1, 2.2, I was about ready to. We were about ready to. Now they're down to 1.4. And imagine when the next, there's still 2 more hot peppers coming, but they're not peppers. We're going to talk about that. There's still more. There's still more coming, right? So, like, Veve is not letting up. So, it'll get squeezed even more.
On the gem squeeze, too, you got to understand, like, people are, because they're in the profit and they're letting stuff go because, they're making their gems. They're still flipping their investment. So, for them, it's nothing but, man, you're getting some great deals out there if you have the gems, if you have the money to throw in. You're getting these deals. It doesn't matter that it's a gem squeeze. You're gonna hold on like. I mean, if you got, it's hard to know when to pull the trigger because you might see something later that you like.
So let me paint this perspective for you. People who are up, they cash out. What do? They're moving into grails. The other people who are selling the grails are fools who bought them lower. Mm-hmm. So these other people who had the items you're buying off of them at whatever price now. They bought them lower. Now they're going into the grails. So now they're in a position where they cannot sell under that amount. And the same thing now with you buying that Marty's hoverboard at, $200, even though Homeboy bought it at $60. Now $200 is your floor. You don't want to let that go. Yep. So now you're now creating support there, and that's that crypto thing too. Like there's a certain froth on it that's gonna go up and down, but there's a certain level of support or a certain number where enough people bought that they're just like, bro, I'm not letting this go at anything lower now than 400. If I bought at 2, I wanna double my investment before I let it go. So they're just invested in that. So now that's what ends up hammering the market to the next leg up. Once enough people do that, nothing gets sold, new people come in, they don't have anything. Now they have to pay for whatever price you're asking, and that's when things just start to run up. So we're seeing that right in front of our eyes with this Veve market.
But and also, so like I was just I was sniping earlier for the Iron Fist drop. Not a big drop, only 10,000 copies though, so that's what caught my attention on the scarcity of it. Well, I just went straight to Secret Rare, and I was just refreshing. I only had like 30 gems uploaded just in case somebody puts a Secret Rare for 30 just to go for it. I know. Probably would never happen, but
someone put the Donald Duck golden moments for $2.10.
$1.80. So I was just there, but what I was noticing is the comics were being bought at $7.05, $7.50 on that Secret Rare of this Iron Fist, and they weren't getting reposted. I was seeing the mint numbers. A few of them did get reposted, and they would only put it at about 40 gems higher, which I didn't understand. It was a different username. Right. So it wasn't them pushing the floor up for themselves. Which I was catching on, and I was like, damn, there's people here with that many gems that they're just eating up. I'm going to get the Secret Rare on this comic drop. Whatever the floor, I'm going to just buy it right now on this day and just have that. And that, it blew my mind.
I don't know. I think that's equivalent to like a new person in the app thinking, hey, every Secret Rare hits 1,000 if they have like this amount.
So or but I see more than program, right?
Even 650 though. 650 when people were, they were going 70 gems under the floor. So they're just, they wanted to sell it. It was getting bought. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. First of all, the market barely opened. Like it hasn't even been a day or two for you to really see the market. These are the people who already received their comment.
Hey, I've done
Everyone receives it.
Those are people who had 900 gems loaded up, and just in case golden moments drop that low, it's not there. So then they go, okay, they see a video on YouTube. Yeah. They see some hype thing, and they go, I need to get me a Secret Rare because look, Secret Rare of Fantastic Four #1 is worth 16 racks. So all I got to do is just hold this and buy this one at 600, and it's like, hey, there's no guarantee with these smaller comics There's no precedent.
Yeah, it just blew my mind though that they were going. It wasn't like it didn't stay stagnant. I was seeing.
Well, I mean, on a low edition count though, I mean, man, it probably will run up like that, like crazy, you know. So to move on, while we're talking about the gem squeeze, notable prices, I mean, if I could weigh in on that just a little bit more too, I think we're talking about the comics, and I've been on my top 10 hunt. I cleaned out my comics a lot. I didn't go for any of them. The Black Panther #1, I hit an uncommon. I had a pretty sweet serial number I got, or edition number I got, and I let it go. I didn't even think twice. Before, maybe I would have been like, hey, this might be a good long play, blah blah blah. I think I sold at $47. It hit as high as 50, but I had put 47. It sold. You could get it right now for like $21. That's just experience. Now I can go and buy 2 of them, 2 4 digits right now, and then say, okay, I'm in a long hold. If you follow the trends of the market right now, is people want it so bad, they don't get it, and they're willing to pay whatever it is right after the bat, because they already loaded that $20. They already loaded that $40. They already loaded that. We've been there. I bought the Strange Academy at $196 because I liked the cover and I got caught up with the hype. Right now you can get it for like $120, $130. I'm not saying that it won't get over $200. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that's still not the smartest way to come about it.
And that was my early mistake. Only did about 2 though, luckily. And it was during the Craven release of Spider-Man, but only because the Spider-Mans performed so well. But also,
and the market was super killing.
The market was crazy during that time.
Making you feel like if I don't buy it, it's gonna take off.
And I did about 2 that are triple digits. I'm pretty sure no matter what, I'll make my investment back. But it's gonna be a while now, for sure. For sure, on those it'll be a while. Nothing too crazy, $100. But one thing I did for myself when I'm sniping on a drop day for a triple digit, especially a sub 500, is I put 35, and that's my limit. I will not go over 35, which is 5 times what the comic originally cost. So 35 gems. And if you see one a triple digit, you can live with it no matter what the comic is, no matter what it is.
That's true.
And that's what I've been doing.
Because at any point with a triple digit, you can ask for double to triple the floor. So you could just wait for that comic to hit 50, which I'm sure a lot will. See, another thing with Crypto Pro, shouts out to Crypto Pro because I love that dude. Carlton Flowers, and he gives his thing.
Yeah.
But he just buys up a bunch, and his theory is, hey man, all of these are gonna get their time to shine at one point or another. And shit, I mean, he's right, because there's gonna be so many new users that Kang is gonna be out of their reach. Spider-Man #1 is gonna be out of their reach. It's gonna be $700, $800 for the common. And that's probably just the next leg up.
And that has 70,000 copies. That's a big one.
Right.
Amazing. They knew though. There's a reason why Amazing Spider-Man
but with
70,000,
there's still only 300 people selling. So 70,000, the other 63, 67.
Well, the common, what is it, like 59,000 or what? Like
48,000. So let's just say the 48,000 of the comic. I think let's just say there's 600 available.
There's 567.
So there's 600. Right, let's just round it up. 600 available.
125 uncommon.
And there's 48,000 of them.
82 rare. 60 ultra rare, and only 32 secret rares available.
And those numbers are what, like, those are the times that I'm like, we can't fathom how early we are sometimes. We just can't. Like, when there's 2 million people and there's only 40 available. So there's only 40 on the shelf. It's like you're in a market with a bunch of people, and the parking lot has 8 times more people than are in the market, and in the market is only 20 cans of corn. Like, it's gonna come to the point where the people from the outside come in, they want to buy this shit, and it's just not gonna be enough to go around, and that's when prices go crazy. So that's the thing that trips me out.
How you saying Kang? There's only 362 total, all of them on the market. If you added up every single edition, there's only 149 of the common.
So that's one of the interesting things. That's kind of like, it's hard to put a finger on the VV market because everything's in its own ecosystem. We don't know what outside forces and people with money would do. People speculate they'll crash it. Man. It'll be a quick flash crash. Everyone cashes out, undercuts, trying to go and finally spend that money they got. But then there's gonna just come into the people.
Spider-Man was 60,000, but out of the 60,000, there is only 866 available total.
Total, yeah. So
that
you would imagine
ridiculous.
60,000, 50, what is it? 59,200, or 70,000. Like 69,000 of them want to hold it. Yep. They're glad to hold, just like me and you.
Yeah.
We're not looking to sell.
And the people who are selling probably have more than one. They probably just have it listed. Like, if this one sells, I'm cool with that.
So then when they move from that hand to this hand, that's that, what is it called? It's not accumulation. It's distribution. That's a distribution phase. So it's like, hey, what am I willing to let it go? What are you willing to buy it at? And then I'm no longer holding a person who would want to sell it for 190. And a person who's willing to buy it now for 190 now holds it. Yeah. Who will never sell it for that or less if they have a fucking, if they have a brain in their head, you know what I mean? That would defeat the purpose.
Well, you set the price, so it's like whatever someone's willing to pay for
You're just not willing to. I mean, that's what makes the market a little stronger as far as certain prices, because you see that now. Marvel Comics was $10, $20, $50, $100. Even if you had said 100. That's why with Mr. Carlton Flowers, that's the thing I disagree with. If you could stack it, I think there's going to be certain psychological limits, just like in crypto. I think 50 will be one of them, and $50 is one of them right now. Once your comic breaks 50, it's either going to break it and keep running, or 50 is its little come back to earth, right? Then the next one is 100. I have a rule right now where it's like once you have a comic book that's knocking on 100, buy it. That should be your long hold. Because I don't care if it is Strange Academy. If Strange Academy blows up because they do a Netflix series or they do a Disney Plus series, and you just don't believe it, you're like, they're pretty popular, but it ain't gonna be on Miles Morales level. But you just want to hedge against it. You could watch it go to 60, watch it go to 70, watch it go to 80. But for me, once it's at that triple digit, just buy it, because it might hit 4 digits. It might hit 5. No one thought Marvel Comics 1 was going to hit $500-$600. They thought there's too many, and there's not enough people who want it. And now look, that thing hit $850 for a common that has 60 or 70,000 editions. So edition sizes don't matter as much as you think. That is the point of this whole thing we're talking about. But yeah, man, the gem squeeze continues. We're going to get more into the gem squeeze a little later. Once again, let's take a little break right now. Not a break, but let me just say thank you if you're tuned in right now. Thank you if you're watching. Let me make sure we're still filming. We got Ben jamming right here.
No, small, but I think that the edition size does matter. It's just right now, at this point, it matters less. In the future is when it will matter more. As far as I'm concerned, like that's what I see. So since I don't mean it don't matter. I mean it. Oh yeah. If they're high, that shouldn't scare you away. Oh, that's all I'm saying. Oh, okay. Like, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it was clear from the first episode with how many comics I have, but I'm pretty much more invested in the comics. I really like reading them. I enjoy the rush of sniping them, finding those good prices when people put them up. It's pretty fun. It's not necessarily like, I have an unlimited amount, but every paycheck I'm putting a few gems in, I'm loading some up, man. I'm going out there looking for the snipes. Every week, there's someone out there who wants to give up what they got, and I'm willing to buy it, Right. And I think accumulating, like at any moment the floor could go up. Regardless, you could recycle your gems with these items. But that's
comics do have that 8.25% kick up as well, so that because they're Marvel items. So that's one thing you do have to keep in mind as you're investing. You're spending 20, but in reality, 10%, about 10% of that $22, whatever, $100, 10%, $10 is gonna go to tax.
Yeah, something to keep in mind. So
especially if you're making bigger purchases on bigger comics, which we will get into. I want to do maybe a segment next week where we dive more into comics, because I have been as well paying a lot of attention to comics. Me and Cisco have seen some really cool videos. I know Ben watched it recently again with the dude who's talking about different comics he values in his top 10. I saw some other comic dude who has a long background in physical comics. He was giving his breakdown and of the top 10, and he kept, the big ones we would imagine, Marvel Comics 1. He said Marvel Comics 1, it's so scarce as far as physically, almost no one owns it. So that's the kicker of why people want to own it digitally. But because there's the gap of people who don't own it physically, it's not going to be sought out as much as you may think, that people will just want to have it, but the super fans won't. Like a Miles Morales super fan or a Captain America super fan, he's not going to be like, I need to have this comic necessarily. Certain collectors will say they need to, but it just because of, it's just such, it's like a legendary comic so much that he's like, you know what?
I feel that there should be enough of those type of collectors in the world that will want them.
Well,
like
you know,
going in, like,
just to get into the comics just a little bit, what I've been listening to is where are they going to be 5 to 10 years from now? And not just off of what we know, because you can invest in the top 10 right now off of what you know, and you're going to do good. You're going to do great. And besides just having the triple digits of ones that people may want in the future, just buying 2 Fantastic Fours, you're going to be good. Buy 2 or 3 Amazing Spider-Man number 1s, even if they're $200 right now. That's $600.
Actually, it's
sit on that.
$155 right now.
So you know what I mean, though.
Dude,
No matter what it is, you're gonna laugh when a few years from now, or 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and you're like, I was worried about 150 to 200 or 300. The gains are so much. They're worth $2,000 each. If you had bought one at 900, you'd still be up 1,100.
That's why when
you're not gonna really
term,
worry about
when
that.
they're out of reach for us right now. I'm like, dude, imagine though in like 5 years where people look back and can't even believe we bought in at $200 or even $250 for them.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
a comic that looks like it's on that trajectory. That's all I did with Miles Morales. That's all I did. I didn't know any better even at that time. I was new to Veve, where I was like, man, I just saw the Fantastic Four. I said, this is a top one. It's at $74 right now. I don't know if I'll ever see it at that again, just because it's only gone up.
Yeah, for sure.
And it hasn't been back. And
the movie's coming out.
You'll probably never get a Fantastic Four number 5.
I think
on
honestly,
the app
with
for
Miles
$70.
Morales, I think though, like if they do bring him into the MCU, they do involve him in that next phase going forward for them. If they get a badass character, like a badass actor, to play him, like someone that, like, you know, someone who could kill that role, I think it boosts it even more. Like, it just, you know, the way Tom Holland killed it for Spider-Man finally, you know, after 2 tries of trying to get it right. You're trying to get it right. And this dude actually.
Well, Tobey Maguire, they got it right.
That was just a good movie, I feel, but I don't feel he was the best Spider-Man. I feel Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man.
At the time, though,
that was the best movie.
Okay, we could have the.
Yeah, that's my.
Tobey Maguire to me is still the best Spider-Man. Let's not fake the funk. He just the wholesomeness and the fucking like timid. But obviously they screwed him over with part 2 and part 3. Well, part 3 being the fucking. They just ruined them.
But I'm saying I like Batfleck more than Christian Bale as Batman. So. Not a lot of people agree with that. But.
Yeah, we're not even gonna. We're gonna pretend you didn't say that.
Nah,
okay. So anyway, moving on to the next segment. Once again, thank you for tuning in. If you're rocking with us, if you like this, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button right now. We are the Veve Bros, and this is Collect and Connect, and this is our YouTube, man. We're gonna have fun with this. We're gonna keep it going. We got a few more segments to move through.
Some NFTs with some Boyle Heights, you know, flavor to.
You know, we represent. We represent East Los.
323.
Hey, but real quick, let me just get this part out. You know, I saw some shit. I don't remember who it was. You know, like to give credit to, my bad, but saying like we're so early on the app that even with NFTs, like they're gonna evolve. NFTs are gonna look different in 5 years, 10 years. Like they're gonna be way more interactive, way more realistic. Like even the comics. Like, what if the comics end up being like a like a digital book, like you could have a great audiobook, like an audiobook, so you Stan Lee's voice reading the damn comic to you when you have it, because they have all these things are possibilities that they can like branch into with
or
these.
Even you have your own comic library where people can come and read your comics online.
Yeah, I see that. Or you've been able to chop up the same way that they made the secret rares are just framed out. You know, they're cutouts of actual pieces in the comic, so they're Veve exclusives. That's why they're pretty smart. Like the collector would like that because it's original art, and then there's only 600, and then they're Veve exclusives. So those secret rares are technically the true drop of those. The common is just the common man can get it, but the secret rare is here's a 600 of our version of that comic that we took from there, and that's That's kind of what Veve did. Those are the scarcest, the top dollar ones. But yeah. Sorry, I broke away from what Cisco was saying and stuff.
No. That was it. I was just throwing that in there.
So I want to get into this next segment. It is called Peep the Plays. Here are the plays that we're making this week. I wanted to, give the listeners and people who are on the app as well, and I know you guys are out there making your plays. You out there, maybe you got your eye on a certain collectible, on a certain comic, or you have a certain strategy or philosophy you're carrying in right now. So I wanted to just give us a few minutes to be able to jump in on that. Ben, what are your plays right now in this past week, or what are you looking at right now?
Well, so like I said, I don't have a lot of money to throw in on this, but I want some money at the Super Bowl, with the Super Bowl. Rams winning, they want me some money. I'm not a Rams fan, but I was a fan of them that day. And
LA, baby.
You know what? I pulled the trigger on some grails. I got myself an Amazing Spider-Man #1, and glad I had waited, because there were a bunch of times I was gonna pay a lot more for this comic. Right. I ended up getting it for $155.
That is not a bad price.
And it's not a great mint, some 34,000, but I got one, and that one was cool. I was
Sometimes
pretty
you don't
happy.
need that great 4-digit mint or 3-digit mint.
But my real good buy this week with that Super Bowl money, I got myself an Avengers #8. That's with Kang the Conqueror, first appearance.
That's a big comic.
And I got a great mint on that one as far as it goes, because I got 22.88 for 270. 270. I got it $30 under the floor.
There we go.
It was sitting at 300. And the uncommon one actually is the original cover.
And that's one I think
by Jack Kirby.
Just because of the scarcity, when it runs,
only
it's
10,000.
gonna run.
Yeah, only 10,000 copies of this one.
Well, and you didn't even know that he came out in Loki. Like, you didn't even know that part. You made the purchase, and it's like, that's
spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the Loki series on Disney Plus, go watch that, because it was actually really great. The dialogue with him and what's his name? Dude with the broken nose, Wilson.
Owen Wilson.
Him and Owen Wilson's dialogue and chemistry was dope. That whole show was dope. And at the very end, on the finale, spoiler alert, they premiere Kang the Conqueror, which is pretty crazy. And that actor is super dope. You could tell he's going to be, a big part of the MCU going forward. And that character is going to be really dope. Like, I think he's going to leave a lasting impression as far as villains going forward.
Well, there's going to be a season 2 of Loki as well. And the way it ends, it's just,
So those are Ben's plays. I love that, dude. Those are big come ups.
Thanks to the Gem Squeeze too.
That's on the Gem
Squeeze. I kind of waited. Gem Squeeze brought the prices down. And money came into my.
So let's jump into Cisco's top. Peep the plays. Cisco, what you got?
Well, after I got the golden moments, Donald and Daisy. Honestly, I was just like, man, I'm kind of sitting just good floating. Right now. Yeah, it was like I don't want to. I was close to like spending 350 gems on just like going on the shopping spree and just seeing, because I was willing to spend on a golden moment. And now I got one for 60 gems. But honestly, this week I kind of pressed the brakes. I just waited a little. I got a Sue Storm. I sold one and upgraded the mint number for the rare. But otherwise, I was like kind of just holding off, like waiting for that next announcement on top of it, because things pumped back a little bit, but not too much. So I'm like, it's going to go lower. Like, I could feel that some of this stuff's going to go lower.
And it has to, because there's nothing that's going to bounce it back up while there's more big announcements.
So sometimes the best play is no play and like waiting and just stacking those gems. And then when you have a couple more, like something else that comes in, I have.
Or, accumulating your gems, where what I've been doing is like $20 and I haven't bought nothing. $25, I'll turn it into gems. $30, I'll turn it into gems.
Exactly.
Now you see the 75, and then I had, I had sold it something, I had some gems. So now I got 300-400 gems in the thing. Yeah. So you start seeing things. I can knock out a Kang right now, a Kang comic. I can knock out 2 Deadpools, or I could just put another $30. And you're like, okay, I could get me a Steamboat Willie right now because they're at 500, and now you've accumulated 500.
That's kind of where my focus is too, as far as like how you said, like the market where it's at. You feel like, oh man, this is gonna take off. I got me the Zombie Hunter Spider-Man, the common, when it was like at 280 to something, and now it's down to like 150, 160. So mine is like, I need to get another one. No, like At this point, I'm like, I'm gonna get another one
and just make your
because of
your
the
average lower.
In the preview for the Doctor Strange, the Doctor Strange movie and stuff, like they show zombie Doctor Strange in this. Spoiler, it's just a trailer, but they show him just like he was in What If.
You think you're gonna get a Spider-Man appearance on there?
Well, I'm thinking that they're gonna do more with it. They're gonna do more with it beyond.
Well, season 2,
even in the new Spider-Man,
What If season 2 is coming?
Disney Plus, right?
Even in the new Spider-Man, he wears the cape. The cape goes on him and helps him out while they're fighting.
Yeah,
you know, like
protects him.
There we go.
You have it backwards.
What?
Oh man.
Way different.
Like you could hear us more than you could hear him. Not more.
I have my own mic this week.
Oh damn! Now you're here. There he is.
I have my own mic this week. I'm not sharing the mic.
I had a long day at Disneyland.
But
so if we're 50 minutes into the show and I barely realized that I had his mic the wrong way.
He just kept telling me to get closer and shit.
And I was like, dude, why can't I hear us so much? Anyway, hey, it's episode 2, all right? Go ahead, Cesar.
No, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just didn't make certain plays, didn't make certain purchases that I was like, I'm just going to kind of hold off. I am looking at the Mighty Marvels. I do see some of them drop savage, like Steve Rogers, like at 105 right now.
Right.
And like getting those, I think those are the dope. Like the Bucky Barnes. He was the
best common for a minute. Now Spider-Man's the best common, so he kind of took that crown.
But even Spider-Man's at 144. He was sitting at like 230 for a while.
But he peaked at like 320. So yeah, man, he ran up massive. I wish I would have sold him at 320. I sold him at 200. And now he's, lower. And anyway, we'll talk about the play that I did. But, yeah. I mean, the gem squeeze continues. There's still a lot of great deals, the Mighty Marvels. I'm just saying Steve Rogers is still a great buy. He was the best common. Now I feel Spider-Man is, but he's still the second best, and it's still his FA.
No, but yeah, that's why that's on my radar. I think for the Mighty Marvels, I might have only 2 or 3 of any of the editions. Any of the the series of it, Fuck.
But yeah, I mean, Cisco, when you hit a golden moments on your week, you don't really got to make no plays. That's the point. If you had hit a golden moments, any of you out there, you go right there, or go in the restroom.
Right.
I mean, you don't really need to make a play after that,
Mine glitched out too. Again, this shit just kicked me out.
We had 3 phones. 3 phones in my living room going for it. 3, and we all
can't even go for a rebound.
Gone,
dude. No hope.
It was weird too. Like it just felt quicker.
You're out.
Like it just felt like no, you're out. Like it just, and that's why people were just like, this is a disgrace. You should just see the comments, man.
But I mean, I get it. You're on like this adrenaline rush. You're feeling it. You're just right there waiting. There's a timer making your heart beat faster.
Yeah, dude. It's a rush.
Going. It's like the South Park episode. It's going, gone.
No, there like, and imagine how Cisco feels. Like he hit it. Dude. When you get it, you're not mad at all. You're saying there's other comments. Thank you, Veve. Thank you so much.
The Veve gods shining upon you.
So, the next segment. So those are the plays. Oh, actually, I haven't said my plays. So let me tell you my plays of the week. Right, I've been focused more on the gem comics. That has been my main focus. I've still been buying Deadpool. I cannot seem to stop buying Deadpool 98 or New Mutants 98 with the first appearance of Deadpool. I just feel like people are disrespecting that comic.
That one too. I think it has 70,000 or 50,000. How many mints?
If I'm not
mistaken, it's one. It's up there though.
60.
It's one of those that's up there.
It's 60.
All right, it's one of those that's up there, and that's for a reason.
There should tell you something.
That's a reason.
Veve knew that that's gonna be a ridiculously popular one. So they go and they give you, but the price, because of that, the price is in. So if it's going for 33, then it should be at 66. Because if it were a 30,000, half the supply out there, the price would probably be double.
Yep.
So we still recording, we still good, right? So on, like you see it.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Let's be real. That's what I'm saying. The Deadpool stock. Let's keep it real. It rose because Ryan Reynolds played him. It rose. That was the perfect actor to play Deadpool, to throw his whole spin on it. They're masterful. They're masterful.
Oh,
they're
Ryan Reynolds the one who made all that happen.
He put his own money and stuff. But what I'm saying is though that's why that comic.
But look, he's about to be in.
My son's only 9 and loves Deadpool.
But he's about to be in the Doctor Strange movie.
Oh, they're bringing him in.
This dude, he broke it down on YouTube. And if you look at the glass that's broken, you can see Captain Carter's shield in the broken glass.
Yes, exactly.
And then if you look on one of them real small, you could see Deadpool. So they're already hinting to it.
And a lot of that stuff came out in What If, like
right. Well, Deadpool wasn't in What If.
But the Captain Carter.
They're gonna jump in, and the Scarlet Witch, she has a
not
comic.
Not too many famous anti-heroes either. He's sort of that one anti-hero. He's not a hero. He's an anti-hero.
He's hammering the point. Like, that's why I've been buying that comic. I now own 2 rares. I have 7 common. I have 1 uncommon, and I'm gonna get an ultra rare. I'll probably end up owning at least 2 ultra rares. But like, I feel like the top 10 Grail types, if you can get your hands on 1 to 2 common, I'm talking MC1 and FF1 and FF5.
ASM1.
I got a sub 4%er of that one. Of Deadpool.
Of Deadpool?
Yep.
That's dope.
Sub 4%.
See, I've just been buying floor. I'm not really tripping. Like,
Deadpool is that one.
I knew I needed one of those, and when I seen it up there for that day, I sniped it because like, fuck it, I'll pay it. Let me get this because I know in the future that low.
Well, dude, don't forget, like Deadpool, when that movie even was made, they just made a 5-minute trailer, fuck around shit. They put their money up to do it, and then fans saw it, got so pumped up. And then they're like, we had to do this.
I remember seeing it. I was going to the recording school, and we tripped out on that too, like that whole story that he did that. But anyway, I've just been stacking that one. That's been my play this week. I'm looking at those top 10 comics, and I just will continue to buy them up. If people want to undercut them, there's certain numbers I see. I'll give you guys X-Men 4 with the first appearance of the Scarlet Witch. I'm at Disneyland today. They got Scarlet Witch stuff everywhere. Like, comic experts, I haven't dove into her comic storyline.
The uncommon, she's right there.
She's
by herself.
But just her as a character, she is probably the most powerful person in the MCU. She's supposed to be Captain Marvel. She punked Thanos in Endgame. He had to rain hellfire because she was about to just squash him.
She's supposed to. The only reason why they didn't in the MCU is because Magneto could not be in it.
But and they're bringing it in.
No,
now.
But
I'm looking at the stuff that
prior is what I'm saying.
If I can buy that comic at $60 right now, and in a year from now it's gonna be 1.6K, be worth 2K because there's only 5,000 editions. It shows her face, and it's Jack Kirby who did the art that they did this, an uncommon, a Veve exclusive. That comic is gonna go nuts when she snaps and destroys all the mutants like she did in the comic. She has one where says
a lot of people don't even know though that's Magneto's daughter. They don't know that. A lot of people don't know that because they didn't do it in Avengers. So all those kids when fucking what Avengers 2 came out, what year? When they brought in Quicksilver and they brought in Scarlet Witch. Right. And those are both Magneto's kids. They had a bigger
story arc for Scarlet Witch, and now we're seeing it. Mm-hmm. So once she's finally there, I think that's when the comic truly takes off, because that's how it's true for everything. Like, Deadpool didn't blow up that comic into, not didn't blow up. It was already, that comic was big. That comic was big. But when the movie came out, that's when the sales on it started going crazy, right? And I think it's the same thing with this. We're gonna see Scarlet Witch and Vision being another one of those comics, his FA, and it's already a pretty.
They just kind of did Vision dirty, In Age of Ultron, he's the shit, and then they just made him into some wimp that Scarlet Witch had to protect. In Endgame,
I don't think his arc's done. They
just mean like they kind of did him dirty in the movie. He was he was a liability instead of being. An all-powerful being, they kind of did him dirty. I feel like his comic would be
before I get too sidetracked, that was pretty much my plays this week, picking up some more comics. I did sell my Spider-Man Mighty Marvel that I hit on the drop, $13, and I sold it for $200 right before, literally, the night before, or the morning before they announced Golden Moments. So they had done that, and I was about to buy other stuff. I didn't. I held. And the market just went kaput after that. And I think he hit, the Spider-Man ended hitting like 130, Now he's right now respectable 150, 160, holding pretty tough. Because that is a dope collectible that I do want to get back. But I sold it for $200, no remorse, for a Miles Morales, the Ultimate Fallout, number 4, first appearance of Miles Morales, uncommon. I got it for $183. So that thing never really drops under $200 since I've been seeing.
Yeah, when you told me that, I went and looked, and I was like, damn, it's 205, 204, 211, like.
And then it shot back up to 235, 240, like it just stays there. And I think that's just a better play right now, because if something with Miles Morales, I mean, he has the movie coming out where I could flip that pretty within a shorter period than say the Mighty Marvel Spider-Man, which when the market pumps, that'll pump. But when the market pumps, Miles Morales is going to pump on top of that with the movie, with the fact that he is Spider-Man. He is Spider-Man right now in the comics, and MCU realizes that. You know, and this other dude who was breaking down comics, you know, it's like unpopular opinion, but he's absolutely right. Spider-Man, Peter Parker has reached its tip of the peak of its popularity. Not only do you have, you know, Tom Holland, who is a great Spider-Man and honestly captured all of us again, no matter who, but they did no matter what generation came from. But they did the movie with all three. So no matter which one you liked, you got serviced. You just got your money's worth with all three. How do you top that? You can't. And I think Marvel kind of realizes, if they're smart enough to realize that, don't try to over milk Tom
Holland. I think you could. They haven't done the Sinister Six. They can do all that,
but you can hand the torch off. Like the story of Peter Parker has been done. We've literally seen 4 different Aunt May's, you know, or Uncle Ben's, or people die.
I don't know. I don't agree with this. You know, they botched the Venom with the Tobey Maguire best Spider-Man ever guy. You know, that I don't agree with that one, but they botched the Venom storyline with him. You know, they botched it. The Venom and Spider-Man movie has yet to come out. You know, having them together in the movie. They did the Carnage one, but it did not involve Spider-Man. I don't think it's hit the pinnacle. But that's more fan service. Because it's still more fan Spider-Man, service. We have not got that one.
But like, you can still identify Miles Morales. Like, I'm just saying, like,
you could.
Miles Morales is black and Latino. And he's Spider-Man. Like, it just breaks a lot of barriers. It's just a lot of people, that's their Spider-Man. And a newer generation grew up with him being the Spider-Man. And that's why, ultimately, I bought, you know, why I ride with that comic, and I've heard enough people talk about it. It's like, man, we might be missing that bigger picture. Like, not to say that Spider-Man's going to go anywhere. He's not.
Yeah, that's the part I didn't agree with. I just don't mean that because Bruce Wayne has been Bruce Wayne. No, exactly. And, you know, he's still,
Peter Parker is still going to be Peter Parker. But guess what? Every now and again, and there's not a lot of examples, but there's a few, and we'll even talk about it. I'll try to support my theory later, another time. But I'll tell you right now, every now and again,
I just don't think Peter Parker has hit his peak. I feel like, you know,
but every now and again, you do have something that replaces something good and is better. It doesn't happen all the time.
True. But this is my point.
Miles Morales might actually be a better version of telling Spider-Man than Peter Parker can be.
But my point is on this, like I don't agree with whoever's told you that, like that theory that you agreed with, because this movie was so epic. If this wasn't the final one and you told people we're gonna give you another one, that shit would sell more than this one did, just because how good this one did, and people would line up for the disappointment, even if they couldn't live up to what this current one was. So even then, the money would still be generated, the hype would still be generated, everything would already be pumped into this shit. That's how I see it.
Okay, so you know. Anyway, those are plays I'm making. Miles Morales versus Peter Parker. We can talk about that. I'm team Miles Morales.
I rock with you, Pete.
I'm rocking with the future. Peter was cool, but Miles Morales, that fool's just the shit, dog. That's it. So anyway,
if you played the game, you know he's a little crybaby. You know, you guys, if you played the game.
We're gonna now get into the third segment, and we are running right now at 1 hour plus on the show. So if you've been rocking with us, man, we appreciate you once again. We're not gonna go as long as last week. We're gonna try to just shorten it up just a little bit.
Imagine though, when Spider-Man 2 is supposed to drop out, it's supposed to drop next year. Spider-Man 2 for the PS5. Imagine they drop that game with an NFT. They drop one in here with it. And that one is going to have Miles Morales in it. It's a joint now, like I said.
I mean, I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will drop an NFT.
If you're in on it.
But you know gamers don't like NFTs. We'll talk about that too. We're going to talk about the NFT versus gamer thing that's going on right now, which just got brought to my attention just like last week.
I don't believe the right games have been involved with the NFTs.
It's just like gamers feel like NFTs are going to take something from them. Again, collector versus investor. Some purists of collectors, money's involved, but it's more like money is just the thing to keep them in their own circle. It's not about making money. You don't buy the Spider-Man freaking mask worn by Tobey Maguire because you can resell it for $1 million. You buy it because you're a nut who wants that. You're such a Spider-Man fan.
You want to wear it and watch the movie.
And you want, And that's the thing where, like, Veve is a little bit to the collector, can be a little bit like of a turnoff, or to the casual person who's just like, man, I just want to collect some stuff. I don't want to have to do this and that and be invested and spend all kinds of crazy money. Like, and that's one thing you see with Veve, man. They're not worried about those people who want to spend $5, $10. I think they're gonna service them somehow. And comics being $7, everyone has a chance, supposedly. But you can tell, man, they're trying to be Gucci. They're trying to be Louis Vuitton. They're trying to be top-notch premium. You know they got Supreme. They got Supreme. Yep. The first Supreme NFTs are gonna drop on Veve. So trust, like their roster
then the
is
bots will really
ridiculous. Anyway, to get into the next segment, which brings us right into our next segment, speculation and theories, right? We're going to spend a little time on this. Anything you've been seeing, I'm going to pass it to Cisco first. I do have one of my theories too, and we're talking about it, and if you've been following on YouTube, and you already know, but I'm going to break it down a little bit more. But yeah, let's talk to Cisco right now. Where are you coming from right now? What are you seeing right now? What do you think's on its way? Or what do you feel like, where's the app leading us right now?
Honestly, I think what you said about how Veve ain't stopping right now. They keep coming out with all kinds of stuff. Like, I feel like they have their plan for this year laid out well ahead, from tweets to articles, little things like, oh, what if the Donald drops, and then they drop it. Like, they know exactly what they're going to play out, and there's still a lot that, like, there's so many things that could just break the app. Just boom, just like everyone's going to go bananas. More new users are going to come because of it, and I don't know exactly what that is. I don't have the predictions like you or like the thoughts on that, but like I know Darth Vader will come. I know, like, Mandalorian, they're already going to do the Obi-Wan series on Disney Plus. Star Wars and all these other things, like, we talk about Disney a lot on this, but there's so much from it because Marvel's a part of Disney too now. So
right. One thing, I know I'm like cutting in, but
no, go
while
ahead.
we're on that, on the Disney part too, the other thing I was thinking about, Disney also owns ESPN. They also have a hand in UFC. Imagine UFC NFTs start coming out.
Well, UFC already has NFTs.
No, but do. Like I mean the collectibles as far as that. There's Panini cards. There's cards available.
Right.
But
and
that's
the
a
video
card.
clips, right? Didn't they do
that's
video
a,
clips?
That's a
Did
card.
They try to do like some Top Shop.
They sell some, but like those are like they're releasing 10, 100. It's nowhere near a drop where you're getting it. It's like,
they do packs.
They promote them up. Those are the paninis. Those are the paninis. But that's a card. It's not a. It's an actual card, like the sports trading cards. They do. Panini does them, the Prisms, and then they do the NFT versions of them, which they barely started doing. And actually, from me going to the NFL experience,
so
Panini
that's what you're pumped up for, some ESPN.
It might be that you never know, just because of Disney being involved in it. Disney owns so much.
So there was actually. So let me interject with that. Let me throw a little on that. Alfred Kahn, there's an interview with him, and he talked about not only just NFTs of items and of people, but he's like, you have to understand, like, we could do things. We could do every item. So we can take everything from Harry Potter and single out those items and drop them as NFTs. So wands, we can do, beakers, we can do.
No, he's not very big Harry Potter fan. So he doesn't know what's your name.
What?
Like they released the Golden Stitch. They released
the
Nimbus 2000.
Whatever
Adobe,
it may be. But you do that like the same way they did
go crazy.
The Marty's hoverboard, just single items and certain specific items. So what if they do the ESPN mic, a mic with the ESPN thing? If they do, it doesn't necessarily have to be sports related. It could just be brand related, where they're just doing special memorabilia or items related to that certain brand. Who knows as far as that? But they did say in the last AMA that they are going to do some sports drops at some point. Some dude had asked, hey, I'm a big sports fan. What's up with the sports? And they're like, look, that's its own category that's huge. We're not quite there yet, but we do have something for you this year. But once that comes, we'll be all in. We're just not there yet. So, you kind of have to take it how it goes. Like we're saying, before Golden Moments, even though they said they were working with Disney, it was still just speculation. Or as far as like up until they dropped, up until Golden Moments dropped, even though they made the announcement and everything, up until they actually exist and they're out, people will speculate that it's bullshit.
I speculate Pokemon this month.
So that's Debs, right? So you still think,
yeah,
what, February 27th?
The February 27th. I mean,
I don't know,
you never know,
that.
But shit, it could happen.
I disagree with that.
It could happen. Watch them drop a Master Ball right on you. You know?
That would be crazy.
You know, you never know. They were working. I mean, we did see that post.
So since you said
they're working with Pokemon Go.
Talking about, like, you know, we're barely seeing the first wave of NFTs, and what they can do in the future might be completely different, and we just can't even imagine. And I was like, imagine Mighty Marvels, and the whole time these are the FAs, and people complain about them, but in reality, they end up getting gamified, and as you're completing the game, your Marvel can evolve and turn from just this little thing to a full-size collectible real-life version looking, and that ends up being the FA amazing that everyone wanted, but it just took longer to get there. But the FA tag was still the shit. Like, everyone ends up like, oh, if you're FA, they end up doing something for you. You know what I mean? They built the utility in a lot of those more than they do on their other ones, you know? Who knows? Anyway, my little theory for this, and I talked about it again on YouTube, we're going to get into the spicy meatball theory. So, if you guys don't know, they had done an AMA, right? And it was on a Twitter space. They didn't really give any information. They only talked about bots and FAFE, this and that, blah, blah, blah. But right at the end, I forgot dude's name. One of the main developers on there on the Veve team. He says the end of the month is going to be spicy. We still got some spicy drops. It's going to be spicy. That was the word. Spicy. The whole Veve community is spicy. It's spicy. Then he posted the little golden glitter on his Twitter. Everyone thought golden moments. That's when the gem squeeze really began to get a little more. Instead of just settling down, it went lower, right? We got the golden moments. We got them. He drops the 2. It's Lady and the Tramp and Donald. There's another tweeter or in Discord, and he says, that's 2 spicy peppers. We still got 2 more to go. We don't know if it's 2 more golden moments. We don't know if it's anything else. About 4 days ago, 3-4 days ago, they asked him in Discord, another developer, they said, please give us a hint, something. Give us the first letter. And he just types M. So now we know it at least starts with the letter M. Again, Miles Morales is what a lot of people are thinking. It's Black History Month, plus Spider-Man, plus he has the movie coming out. A lot of reasons to. Then we have The Mandalorian. Star Wars has been speculating. People have been wanting Boba Fett. One of the most expensive Star Wars toys ever sold was a Boba Fett. So just off of that, people are like, oh, if Boba Fett drops, we on it, right? But I had the theory. After seeing Comics and Crypto, they did a breakdown about the brands coming. Go check them out, Comics and Crypto, an amazing page on YouTube. Shouts out to them. They actually dropped a video a couple months ago just saying, hey, prepare for these brands. This is before certain brands had been dropped. And they talked about how Mickey and Mario were in that little block on the Tokyo, the Tokyo brand. Tokyo if you go to brand Tokyo Toys, you look way in the background. If you screenshot and zoom in, you see Mickey Mouse, you see Mario. And I thought, dang, what if he was saying spicy, but he ain't really. It has nothing to do with peppers. I mean, what does Daisy the Donald Duck and Daisy got to do with spicy or anything like that, right? So the theories are floating on the internet were spice being one of the main themes on The Mandalorian. So he said spicy because, hey, he's hinting that Boba Fett and Mandalorian are on their way. Then I thought, spicy, who's spicy people? Italians are spicy people. And maybe they weren't spicy peppers at all. They were spicy meatballs.
That's better. That was a better
spicy meatballs.
That was a better.
I think it's misdirection. I think they cannot drop no more Marvel. They can't do no more Miles Morales. They're doing a bunch of Marvel comics. They're doing so much over of Disney and Marvel, where I just feel like you think they're going to hit you with that. You just got golden moments. Well, here it goes. Boom, hit you in the face with Mario. You get Mario. You get Bowser. You get Princess Peach. You get Toad. You get Luigi. You get FAs of all those. That is, it's not Pokemon, you know, and it's not more golden moments. It's something else, just as significant, and I think would definitely kick up the community and leave like a wow moment on the market. So that's another huge contract. Nintendo. No, they got them. You know, they got like Nintendo. That's there. Again, that's not just Mario. You got people will speculate.
You got to think. We got Zelda, dude. Above, you know, Donkey Kong. You got to think all that comes along with Nintendo. That'll be huge.
So that's my thing. Let me know, comment if you agree or what you may think. But we'll see. We'll know. I don't think they're gonna let us know by this Thursday. I think this weekend's gonna be some art stuff. I do feel like it feels like, because they've been talking about certain artists they're working with, they're probably going to give us one of these, you know, posters or art pieces or something like that. Really cool. Or maybe someone they're working with, you know, like a Jermaine Rogers type of cat. Give us some left field stuff that people pretend they're really interested in. It pumps in the market. You know, the Jermaine Rogers thing, dude, that I hit that one on the drop. The specimen, that fool pumped to it's like 280. 230, 250, 280. I've never seen it. I mean, he's down to like 110 right now, 120. Like, it'll just tell you how much the market after a drop just pumps ridiculous, you know. So keep that in mind. I didn't sell him, even though I probably should have. Anyway, we'll see what we get this weekend. I don't think we're going to get the big announcement this weekend. Normally, when they do a big announcement, if you think back to the lenticulars, if you think back to Golden Moments, they give you a hint. They tease you. They sold Polka Dot Day for Minnie Mouse. Everyone's like, we're getting Minnie Mouse. They didn't know we were going to get 6 lenticulars. They just thought Minnie Mouse. So we'll probably get some type of teaser this weekend. Who knows? Pay attention. If we get a mushroom, if we get some type of, you know, they show plumbing, they show, you know, a little Spitfire ball or something, they say it's going to get spicy, then you know. It's a me. Mario.
That'd be huge.
It would be insane. So those are the theories. To close out the show, what we're gonna do right now, if you got your phone, or if you could even think one off the top, I do want to do a little slept on list kind of going forward. Maybe we can, you know, keep it up as we go, but we're going to allow each of us to nominate a comic or a collectible, which we feel right now is highly slept on or just undervalued in general, or maybe it's on a massive dip. But just for anyone who's listening, just to get our perspective, maybe get a little value from it. You know, these are kind of the items we're looking at and we feel, and we're going to nominate them and we're going to check them out. I'm going to write them down, and then the next week we'll check in on them. What's your nomination, Ben? Most slept on?
One during this gem squeeze that see is the What If. The floor for it on the common is only $23.50 right now, and that's the What If Spider-Man joined the Fantastic Four. It's the first appearance of oh no, this one isn't, but it has the Watcher in it. You know, just like the other one, and $23.50.
Well, I was stacking that one at $11.
They're the Fantastic Five in this one, but because they have Spider-Man in it. Man, the cover just looks iconic.
So Ben's going with that What If. I'm not mad at that one. I'm definitely not mad at that one. I don't know if I agree with that one necessarily. Say it's highly slept on, because like I said, I bought it at $11-12. I've seen it pump as high as $30. Never really went any higher than that. I mean, just to be honest, just from my perspective. But I'm not mad at it. That might be one that ends up, and like we said, if they end up using that storyline in MCU, anything from that comic, it's probably gonna go nuts. Just the cover alone of having the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man on the cover looks super cool.
Only $23.50 gems. You know, it's not bad at all.
You know, something you would like to hang in your showroom, definitely. So I'm not mad at that shit. at all, and it was one
That's
of my
me
favorite.
giving a very low buy, like a very, very low buy. Just
So that's
for,
a gem
not
from
to throw
Ben.
something in that,
All right, how about you, Cisco?
Yeah, I can see that. For me, the most slept on one that I see, and it's on my hit list, is the Bart and Homer Golden Moment. It sits at 1.5K, and that's around the range of like the Golden Moment ones that are there that aren't like the nuclear ones or the
How
ones
much?
that are
1.5?
1.5, 1.575 is the lowest one. That's the floor.
Yeah,
But that one, like, to
that's
me,
just
like,
criminal.
Homer is choking
Criminal.
Bart. Bart's choking him back, like good old family violence.
Why you
And,
little?
like, they're the only cartoon still that's doing stuff like that. Like, as far as like on Channel 11, like that's
Child abuse.
so long
It's
lasting.
hilarious.
Yeah, child abuse. Remember? You remember?
This is discipline. in
No,
our
but
days.
but actually, like,
In
it's,
our
it's
days,
not
this
it's
is
not
good old
it's not
discipline.
just that, you know, child abuse. It's the fact that it's the Simpsons. It's the Simpsons, dude. And like there's so many more Simpsons. We were talking about Disney and how they can like incorporate or come out with all these characters that people love and that will love to have. Like, this is the first Simpsons. Even the skateboard. The two Simpsons ones, I feel like beyond Star Wars, beyond Disney, beyond this, like, Simpsons has its cult following of people who grew up on it, and like maybe if you don't watch it as much anymore.
Yeah, my son's named Bart, so that one I'd collect, I'd keep, I would never sell. If I get
Exactly, that's my point. So I see that one, I'm like, man, because you know you hit those moments with some of these NFTs where like Superman's sitting at 1K and then all of a sudden boom 5K. It's not gonna come back. When this one takes off, it's not coming back. It's not. People are gonna see it. They're gonna be interested in that
I think
main
maybe
one. And it's
'cause
on their hit
It's
list.
bundled up with Disney, so you have the Disney fanatics, and just because Disney owns The Simpsons, it kind of gets thrown in on there. But it's not necessarily appealing to Simpson fans as much, like only to them. Like, say if you had South Park, and then you're just appealing to South Park fans. But then if you included South Park in a bigger brand, like you said, oh, Comedy Central, like maybe it would kind of get overshadowed by certain things, you know. But I mean, nothing gets bigger than Disney, man. It's like only thing that could overshadow something like The Simpsons.
I mean, the Simpsons,
which is a
30
huge brand.
years running, dude.
It's literally Disney,
You
right?
know?
Where Elsa is gonna outdo Bart and Homer. Like, come on, are you kidding me? Elsa, like, I get it if you're a Disney head, but if you're just a Simpsons fan or just a pop culture, or just someone on Earth who just enjoys stuff, you're like, you might lean towards Bart and The Simpsons more, just as what's cooler that sits on your shelf than a golden Elsa. Okay, that's a little more valuable in price, but what's really doper? Well, of course, Bart and Homer, like icons, you know, 30-year icons in the United States, like historical figures, really, when you really think about it in television. You know, like how is it getting outperformed by certain other stuff?
Simpsons did it.
That's the thing. So I like that pick. It's definitely been on our list of ones we want to get. Like I said, I looked at my whole portfolio, wrote it out, and said, okay, what could I live without to get me a golden moment and to get me this Bart and Homer, back when it was like 2.2, and I was already ready to just sell it all, you know. And I backed away from that theory, or that, at least that strategy or that feeling for a minute, just because I didn't want to get money locked away. I wanted more liquidity, so I just keep leaning towards comics and top tens, and then buying a few that I feel are undervalued. And I'm close to trying to get some sets done, you know. Like I was saying, the stamp collection set, very easy to get. That's a simple set, you know, if you wanted to just get your MC, you know, master collector points up. Shoot, get the stamps. You could get pretty much the whole set for under $200. That's all three of them from the new ones that just came out. And then even the Christmas Santa one, I think the ultra rare Christmas Santa is like $180. Like, you can get all four for around like $300-$400. So it's pretty you know, like, you got to kind of pick your poison. But anyway, Homer and Bart, I love that nominee.
I'm gonna throw one in too. It's not just one though, but just I know he don't agree really, but that Craven series from Spider-Man will continue to be slept on. So there's no rush in it. But when you see those low mints getting put up for 20 gems, because the floor on those is very low. It's very low. Some days it's like at 9 gems. It's at 10 gems for certain ones. You will see people put them up for 25 on a triple digit. Snipe it if you got it. get them, because that whole series eventually will be out of reach. It's just gonna be a while. But Craven's getting his movie. People don't know about Craven. They will. They'll learn. He's a dope ass character. If you remember him from the cartoon, you'll remember. He always gave problems. He's a force to be reckoned with. He's no pushover. Little crazy ass dude with his, was it a lion on him? What he kill and put over his body?
Yeah, lion.
You know,
lion.
But those comics are very, very low. Every single edition, every volume 1 through 6, they're cheap. They are so cheap. I smacked myself for buying them the week they dropped. The certain ones I did. But they are still so cheap. You can't go wrong getting them. And when you see those low mints and they're super low, under $40, get them. Get them. You will be able to flip those.
All right.
Get them.
A message from Ben.
From those,
or
you
else.
just gotta watch it, and then you see.
No.
It's oversaturated in that market. Just compared to any other comics, those ones have like 2.2K on the market. You know, they have a lot.
Well,
yeah,
because they haven't been out.
lot
They
there.
haven't been out a long time.
But even
Plus,
if you compare
they
some,
happen
they
to come
have a
out.
lot.
They happen to come out on the same, in the same time as the Lenticulars and then the Mighty Marvels.
Well, it was also the time where they dropped 6 in a row. It was a whole series back to back. Yeah, like
and
so that's all I'm saying. It's
and that's the
special
thing with comics. You gotta be a little
circumstances.
careful. Here, this comes a disclaimer, not financial advice, but here's a
It ain't.
disclaimer. You have to understand that it could work both ways.
I'm speaking to
Veve
my
can
comic
keep
snipers. If
dropping
you're
a
sniper,
bunch of
you
comics.
know?
You understand? They've dropped way more comics already in the last 7 weeks of this year
yeah.
than they did for almost half the year of last year, right? They're probably gonna drop more comics within the first 3 months than they did the entire year last year. Stop recording. Oh shit.
So maybe it did.
Technical difficulties.
An hour and 15. Where we at with audio? I think I ran out of space in my phone. It died like 15 minutes ago. So I have to just put something else. Damn, pretty cold.
Still dead air?
And we're back. I'm pretty sure we lost video for at least like
Technical
10,
difficulties.
15 minutes. I didn't notice. Anyway, to just wrap up, I don't have necessarily a most slept on. I'm going to keep saying New Mutants 98. I think any of those buys right now, as far as comics goes, is a great buy. I think the Spider-Gwen, people are sleeping on her. I think she's going to be huge, and I think she got under $100 a few times during this squeeze. Right now, she's probably sitting around 100 something.
Like 101 was the last I saw.
Yeah, I think I saw her like 98s, 99s in there. People bottom up. Yeah, I think she's probably gonna be real big. And yeah, I think there's just certain comics people are sleeping on big time, and I'll just nominate those and we'll check them out as we go along.
One question I want to ask you: Have you ever came across a date or anything that indicates DC will drop comics
They just
on Veve?
they
Because they got some crazy iconic.
so that's a good
comics,
question that
you
Ben
know, like,
asked right
in
there.
dude. It's
If
Graphic
you look
novels.
it up right here, we
have,
can actually.
you know, what if they drop, the Batman where Bane breaks Batman's back? I remember reading that one in the library at Ben
They
Franklin,
actually
and
just signed a deal with
Dude.
NFT platform called Palm, and they will be dropping their comics on Palm. So Veve unfortunately will not have DC comics. They will have Marvel comics. It looks like, that's going to be their exclusive. Again, we don't know what's going to happen going forward with some of the DC stuff and some of some of these properties, man. We may only have them this time, and these might just be drops on
that's
this
true
app
because
during this
licensing contracts are for amount of time. It's not
Well, yeah. I mean,
licensing. You pay for the licensing,
and a lot of these brands, they're probably gonna end up doing their own thing. They're probably gonna end up launching their own metaverses. They're jump on their own blockchains, do their own projects, right now this is the exposure that they got, and a lot of this stuff has been worked out for 2 years already. So you would imagine these dudes had the foresight to already know in 2019, 2020 this stuff will be taking off. 2021 was the biggest year,
like proof
ever
of concept
for
It's kind of,
NFT.
yeah, it's like they're dipping their toes in the water.
And this is technically, again, we said it last week, this is Veve's first year. This is technically their first year. Last year was the test year, you know, and there's still stuff they have to get figured out, but it's pretty exciting that they're coming with that mentality. Like, man, we gotta wow people. We gotta do this. We gotta make so. Expect anything. I'm saying Mario at the end of the month. Ben saying Pokemon. Either one will. I mean, Mario will be crazy.
I'm hoping for
Pokemon
it. You know,
will crash
I'm
the
hoping.
app.
Yeah,
Pokemon will
that's why.
absolutely.
Well,
we'll see the mother
I
of all
don't
gem
think on the
squeezes.
initial, it'll crash the market. I don't think it'll crash the app on the first drop, but I do think once people see people putting up their Pokemon, whatever it is, imagine they drop a Charizard as the rare, or they probably do him as a common.
AR Charizard.
And
yeah.
just
fire.
imagine that.
Man,
like
that
that
would
would
be so
set a
sick.
wildfire towards people who want that. You know, they already have it kind of with the Pokemon Go. Imagine they're able to do their pictures and take pictures with them, not just screenshot it and then be right there. You know, not Photoshop it into themselves into a picture with their screenshotted Pokemon Go. I mean, that shit is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be insane times. We got some.
So
Some
again,
shit coming.
that wraps us up for episode 2, Veve Bros. We wanted to keep it a little shorter, but we still ran on. It was a great episode, though. I want to thank my brothers. You know, thank you to everyone
Shout
who's
out
watching.
another clap for the golden
subscribe.
moment winner right
Golden
here.
moments for
That's it.
Cisco.
Finally,
We'll
we can't
see what he does
underplay
next
it.
week.
We can't undersell it. You know that's a huge win.
That's a
right
huge
there.
win for the Veve Bros.
I put it up for
Dub.
I put up for 7K right away after, and I'm
Hey,
like, if they
I
buy it,
thought
I'll
it
buy
was
it back.
gonna- I thought it was
I'll
gonna
get me
pump
my
up.
homer.
We felt like Jameis. We're eating.
And I
dubs
posted-
I mean,
right
dude,
there, you
the
know?
Goofy went crazy. I think the Goofy hit like 7-8K on that.
I feel
after the
I'm
lenticulars,
fine
right?
with that. I know that it's
I
gonna
remember it was
hit its
going
point.
Wild. I was like, what the hell? Like,
One thing I do remember as a kid growing up, real quick, is that our tia Eva was in love with Donald Duck, and it's like this thing. It's like, no, I'm not a Mickey. I'm a Donald. I'm a Daisy. Like Mickey and Minnie are cool, but there's they have their own following of people who are like, that's my shit, and it's just true. That shit goes a long way, man. Like, I'm pumped up about that one.
it's a big pickup. I just want to make sure that the camera's still recording. Again, we're on episode 2, so we're getting things figured out. By next week, we should have a few more camera angles, and we'll get this thing cracking. But once again, thank you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit like. Please subscribe.
Sniper
comment.
gang.
Hey, drop your comments. Let us know what you guys want to know about. Anything you guys want us to read up on. We're actually going to be doing a Veve Bros vault. Why next week we'll be offering a couple collectibles into the vault. While one collectible a week that we're going to be putting in for our collected vault to hopefully stack up to be able to buy a grail. And maybe we'll throw some extras in and we'll do some giveaways. So you know what? Comment, let us know your name on Veve. We'll follow you. And yeah, all that, man. As always, we say thank you.
Thank you guys.
Peace
out.
From myself, Veve Mascal.
The OG Veve Brothers Benjamin 11.
And Cisco Funk Vision 32. Thank you guys for listening, man.
We're signing out. We say peace. We
Peace.
out of here.